Hey, welcome to Breaking Bread, hosted by me, Crumb Chocolate, a show where we break verbal bread with a quote-unquote enemy. Whenever Manchester City has an upcoming match, I will be here having a wonderful conversation with a supporter of City's upcoming opponent. Shout out to all our Patreon members who are enjoying this full episode. For $6 a month, you can get this and all our amazing, fantastic content. We basically are having a run where there's like match previews plus interviews, 2 to 4 episodes. Honestly, it's like 3 to 4 episodes a week for the next few weeks. Just having all the fun conversations about football, City, men's football, women's football, Premier League, La Liga. We're all over the place. You can get all that for $6 a month. If you're watching the 10-minute preview on YouTube, listening on the podcasting apps, still, please like the video, subscribe if this is your first time here, rate, review, think about hitting that link in our episode's description and subscribe. You can get, again, so much fantastic content, like the full episode that we're about to do right now. Great episode for you, Shady Gang. We are here to talk City men taking on Leeds, who I would think they sit comfortably in a position to move on to next season. They're in 15th, six points ahead of a relegation side. And honestly, it's all very tight because they have 31 points. But then if you just go up, say 6 points, you're in 8th. So like, yes, they're right there at relegation, but end the season strong, they could be in a chance to play some European competition next season. Who knows? We're in a very weird place. But we are welcoming back our good friend to learn all about Leeds, what we've been missing from this season. Give it up, Shady Gang, for Bryn. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, so very good, very good. Again, this is a great way to start my day. I woke up, hung out with the dog a little bit, brewed my cold brew. I got my coffee, ready to talk some football, and yeah, just get ready for the rest of the day. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, no pressure then,
Let's continue. And so last time we talked, the conversation was about Daniel Fark, was if he was the right man for the job. They've held on to him, which I think is very much a rare thing nowadays in football, where we've seen Nottingham Forest go through 4 managers in one season, and there's a lot of will they, won't they for so many clubs, like Tottenham too this season so far. I really appreciate that Leeds have stuck with Daniel. I know I'm not asking you to say anything like crazy or scandalous. I remember that
eh?
you work for Leeds, you talk to him often. You don't want to say anything that can rub anyone the wrong way. But honestly, this is a positive thing because they've stuck with him. They have had some good wins overall. I've watched a lot of league games and they're so close. And honestly, I completely love and respect the fact that they play football. There are so many of these teams that get promoted and it's just defense. They're just holding back, waiting to maybe catch and win 1-0. If Leeds could, they would win every single game like 4-3. And I love those types of clubs. And I think that's why they're actually finding some sort of success at this moment. So I guess, what have you seen from Daniel over the last couple of months since we played each other that has, I guess, earned him his, the lack of firing, I guess? Like, why do you think he's still the head of Leeds?
Well, the Manchester City game that we talked about turned out to be absolutely fundamental to the whole project, if that's the right word, because at halftime, at Man City, with Leeds 2 down and looking like they were heading for a pretty, comprehensive defeat. They hadn't showed much in the first half to suggest anything other. And we've been to, as we discussed previously, I'd been to Manchester City and seen Manchester City score a lot of goals against Leeds previously, and there was a bit of a sense of that around in the air at half time in that game. And then at half time, something happened in the dressing room. I mean, something obvious happened. He changed the formation for the second half. So he put two people up front, played with Metcher and Calvert-Lewin up front, and straight away that played with three at the back. That drew an immediate change around in the dynamic of that particular game. So Leeds, as you may well recall, got back from 2-0 down to 2-2 and then got deep into added time before Manchester City scraped the winning goal. So it was a defeat for Leeds, but something happened in that second half which has had kind of long-reaching impact for the group and for the team and for the position of the manager as well. In that actually since then, Leeds have barely looked back, frankly. In fact, they've only lost 2 league games since then. And so whatever went on in the dressing room at half-time against Manchester City has just transformed the way that the season has played out since. So the team has been really, really good away from home. Only lost one away game since then, and that was really unluckily against Newcastle by 4-3. You mentioned the high-scoring games. That was another, basically a last-minute winner for Newcastle in a 4-3 game, which Leeds had been in the lead 3 times in that game. That's the only away defeat. And Arsenal with the side who kind of battered Leeds at home a couple of weeks ago. But all the fixtures around that have seen Leeds more than competitive. They've beaten Nottingham Forest comfortably. They got so close to winning at Aston Villa, who were in third place at the weekend, before conceding another late goal in that one, but played very, very well in that game as well. So that half-time team talk, switch around, has changed everything. Since then, he's varied his formation, and he'll change his formation in game now, Daniel Farke, depending on the circumstances. So he was playing, it was a rigid 4 at the back prior to, and then at half-time in that game, they went to 3 at the back, 2 up top. Since then, he's played 3 at the back more regularly, but not always 2 up top. Often it's 1 up top and then 1 playing just behind. But it's something that they can switch. So if they go behind in a game, they're liable to switch from the 3 at the back to 4 at the back. And so those kind of changes in formation, the tactical flexibility that they've displayed since that game against Manchester City is something that set them apart from a lot of the other teams in that lower half, as I've seen it recently, because Leeds just seem to have different ways of doing things, even within the 90-minute window. And they've got different personnel who can do different things as well. So they've relied heavily on the squad because they've had quite a few injuries, but the squad has come through for him. So playing players in different positions has worked really, really well. And there are a number of examples of that. So the season, I mean, you seem quite confident Leeds are staying up. I wouldn't quite match that level of confidence yet, but things are certainly looking a lot brighter than they were for Leeds at half-time in the game at Manchester City. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that oh man, that second half comeback, Calvert-Lewin coming on and just bullying our defensive line was unexpected, uh, almost disastrous. Like, shout out to Foden saving us, but even after that match, just the vibes at City after that match really wasn't great. Like the fact that they had to give up those goals in the way that they did, it all felt so silly in the moment, but that is kind of what you want to see. And I think it also leads to like a larger conversation. People think because like City, Liverpool, Arsenal, they're not necessarily running away with the league, that it's a bad season. I actually love this. If you look, I mentioned the point gap between relegation and eighth. Like truly, this is what I think you want as a football fan. Is you want the league to be tight. You want it to be anybody can beat anyone at any match. Naturally, you always want your team to win, but for the sake of like entertainment, parody, things like that, you want anybody to stand a chance. It'll make things entertaining, and That's why I have thoroughly enjoyed this league this season, because of the relegation battle. You have the top three battle. You have now the battle between like 4 and 8, like who's going to get those extra European competitions. There's so many different conversations, narratives, like perspectives you can have depending on who you are, who you support. And I think that's the beauty of football. Like nobody wants to always talk about Arsenal, Man City. Like I'm a City fan, and I love this is why I love bringing on people from other clubs, because this gives me a chance to like not talk about City all the time. Like that stuff gets boring. So like I'm very much enjoying this season.
Well, it's been different because one of the key differences is in those relegation places, and because obviously, as you'll be aware, in the previous seasons, you've had the three teams who've come up in the last two seasons have gone straight back down again. Not only that, but they've gone down without even kind of making a ripple on the surface in terms of what they've done in the Premier League. So they've disappeared without trace, frankly, and what that has allowed clubs above Crystal Palace, West Ham, Brighton, Brentford, what that's allowed them to do is, through that January transfer window, is to not have to push too hard, to not have to work too hard, because it's quite clear who's going to go out of the division. And it gives them another 6 months just to, maybe blood the odd young player or kind of work on different systems or whatever. What it seems to have done, the evidence that I'm seeing in the league this year, coming back to it